So my ice machine decided to break over the weekend. This particular model is actually a Chinese one which comes under different brands. As you can see, it's called Polycool, but these ones were sold under Cybercool, Polar Air, etc. A lot of different brands, but it's the same pretty much system. Now the problem I had is there's a big motor that sits here which is about the same size as this one, and basically when that spins, it'll spin a rod around and around, and basically that mixes the water, and it also acts as a sensor to let the machine know when the ice is ready. Now this one here is the original rod. As you can see, it's got all those little fans on it, but if you actually look close right here, there's actually a little magnet that sits in there. Now what that magnet does is it touches this little plastic sensor here every time. Every time that goes around, it closes and opens the sensor circuit. When the ice is ready, these little fans stop spinning, they get stuck. They stop going past this sensor, and basically that tells the machine, hey, the ice is ready, it's time to dump it, and it'll dump it. So what had happened is the motor had burnt out for this rod, so this wasn't spinning anymore. So the ice machine was just constantly refilling water and dumping it, and creating a massive waste of water, and obviously not making ice. Now, sometimes in the restaurant industry, we really do take ice for granted. So I didn't want to go every day and buy ice from the supermarket. So I spent about 4 hours yesterday just constantly looking at this system, thinking about what to do. So this is what I've come up with. I've installed a 12 volt DC motor here, and what I've done with this is just created another power cable here, which is 12 volts. That runs separate to the ice maker. Also, I've installed a wooden rod onto it, and I had to super glue that as the shaft wouldn't fit onto it properly. This is just a plastic knife. This acts as a fan now. And over here I've got a rare earth magnet. Basically what that does is it will replace the magnet that's in here. And I've installed 2 more rods here so I can move the sensor to here. The sensor usually sits here, and the rod sensor's right here. Now the reason I did this is I contacted the supplier. The motor won't come until 3 months from China. So I have to wait till April till this motor comes, and nowhere in Sydney has it. So I'll show you how it works anyway. So if I flip the switch on here, once the computer boots up in it, if you watch carefully, this motor here will start to spin very slowly, like so. So when this tray drops, it will dump the water from the previous load, or if there's ice cubes, it will dump the ice cubes. And until this little curve comes back to this switch, it will just keep dumping. So that's how this motor here works. Now, generally at this point, this motor would start spinning too. And that's the problem. Since it wasn't spinning, I wasn't getting ice, I was just getting refills of water and then dumping it. So, here's where my invention comes in handy. So we'll take this power plug, plug it into a separate extension here. And as you can see, that's my new motor now running. And as you can see, that magnet system is constantly going against the sensor. And now you'll see what happens. So now we're slowly going to get the water pumping. That's just the pump turning on now. So this sensor down here, it's basically two pieces of metal in the water, and obviously water conducts electricity, so when the water touches that, it senses that water is full. So now, as you can see, it's working perfectly, it's not dumping the water. And if you can see, these are the coils here, the compressor is starting to work now, so they're starting to get cold. Eventually it will just go all the way around and it'll all freeze. And that was my simple fix. Now, the purpose of this knife that I've put here is, when this touches the ice, when the ice is ready, it'll make it stop like this. The magnet doesn't touch the sensor anymore. And now guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna dump it. Just like that. And once the ice goes down, this will start spinning again, and it will get ready for the next load. Anyways guys, that was my simple fix. These ice makers, because they're so cheap, people just throw them out. I can't stress enough, try to fix it. If you open it up, just have a look at the way it works. There's only a few components. One motor fits here that turns up. At the back here, you've got your compressor and your water pump. And here is the motor for the actual tray. Right here is the circuitry. I've only got a very basic knowledge in electronics, but even with that, it is repairable. The circuit board tells you exactly what each wire is for, and you got a main fuse there, so if you got no power, always check that first. Simple as that. If you do have any problems with it, do let me know. I can try and help you out with it. See you next time guys.